Hey guys, Sean Terry here. What is up? I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Youngblood, on his boat, or actually off his boat now in Virginia. What's up, man?
I am good, man. Excited to be here, and really excited about what we're going to be talking about tonight. This is the real stuff of what's going on in the market, and what I love is that you're national, so you're seeing like everything everywhere. You know, I'm local. I see what's going on in my market, but you're like seeing it on a national scale.
Right. Yeah. So thank you for everybody joining us. Greatly appreciate it. This is literally an impromptu live that we only sent like a couple notifications on out to everybody. So if you're here, thank you so much for being with us live here. We were going to just record a video and just send it out to you guys, but I was like, you know what, let's just get on here live. Let's talk about what's going on in the marketplace, and then we will send out a replay for everybody on here that's listening tonight.
And number one, can you guys hear us in the chat? Hear us, put in the chat, yes, we can hear you loud and clear, no echoes, no funny business or anything like that. And let us know where you're tuning in from.
All right. So we are going to go super fast. We're going to go as fast as humanly possible. And we're going to cover a lot of bases. But if you don't know Alex or I, there's not many people in the wholesaling houses industry that have been wholesaling prior to 2008, meaning I started in 2003 and I did deals through 2003, wholesaled, and I wholesaled all the way through the 2008 real estate market collapse that we had. So Alex did the same. When did you start?
2003, 2004, got my first deal around that time. But then even during the crash of 2008 is when I actually went full time, hence the name Wholesaling Houses Full Time.
Right. Yeah. So it's first off, I can tell you and we're going to show you some real quick charts and stuff, what's going on in the market and why we're in this current situation, why the market is shifting. So if you understand what's going on, you understand timing, then you'll actually be excited. Not for all the pain that's going on, but you'll be excited about the opportunity because, you know, whenever there is shifts in the market or major swings or volatility in the market, it creates opportunities if you understand timing. So we're going to a lot to cover. We're going to talk about that. But, you know, I've been wholesaling since 2003, wholesaled all the way through 2008. We wholesaled up, you know, all the way through locally in Phoenix, Arizona, and all the way through 2019. And in 2019 decided to pivot national. So we pivoted national. Now we do deals all across the entire country. We do everything over the phone. I'm here in my office here. I got my team of people. And we market through specific strategy marketing we're going to talk about tonight. And we pivoted early, this past year in 2021, knowing that the market was going to shift. And there was a specific signal that a specific entity that is non-government backed actually shared that made me pivot to what we did and pivot our practice when it came to wholesaling. And a lot of people did, and it was interesting. I spoke at an event this past weekend, and there's a lot of wholesalers out there right now that are getting deals under contract that are too high and they can't sell the property, or they're getting deals under contract, they're trying to sell the property and their cash buyers offering way low, or they're getting properties under contract and normally they'd send it out to their buyers list, and those buyers now are obsolete. They're not buying anymore. So now they get a property, they contracted it maybe too high, or maybe they thought was a good price, and now they can't sell that property and now they're stuck. So if you find yourself in this situation, it's not you, it's the market, right? So what you have to do is adapt to the marketplace, and there's certain tools we're going to show you and certain things you can do. And actually, we're going to go through some case studies and show you some different things that typically you don't do in a normal market. So we're also going to share, there's buyers in the market, right? And there's certain buyers in the market that will always buy, even if the market is collapsing and crashing. There's certain buyers. If you're able to target those specific buyers, then you'll always have a buyer pool for your properties. Now, I'm going to also talk about the biggest buyers list you can have in the marketplace, the largest, and it's national. It doesn't matter where you are, it's the largest buyers list. And if you understand how to use this nationwide massive biggest buyers list, you have the ability to be able to exit on any single property you have, and even at higher prices that you would normally think. So now that property you signed up you thought was too high, you put it on this massive national buyer list, then boom, you could turn around and you could sell that property and you can make a profit. So we've got a lot to cover. So Alex, I'll let you kind of take this section right here, then we'll get into some charts real quick, and then we'll get in these case studies.
Awesome, awesome.
So
So
go ahead.
you want to jump into the case studies, or
No, I want to hear about you. Who are you, Alex?
who am I? Well, I'm Alex Youngblood. I'm the owner and founder of Wholesaling Houses Full Time. I've been in this business, like we said, since 2003. I went full time in 2008. So I've seen several different market cycles during my time in this business. There's a lot of people, like we said, that have been in this business from like maybe 2013 and 14, and they watch the market go up, and everybody gets rich when the market goes up, right? But how do you play in a market when things are starting to get a little shifty and things are starting to unsettle and the confidence in the market is starting to dwindle, right? Because that's what we are experiencing right now. And it's really an unprecedented time, just because of the fact that inventory is actually still low, but interest rates are up high. Cash buyers are nervous. And it's really a time where you have to maximize, like what we were talking about, that mega buyers list, if you will, that if you know how to leverage it, um, you're going to be okay. So I'm excited about this. I do deals locally in my market. So what I really specialize in or really like to do is get really big, juicy deals when it comes to my local market. I don't like the skinny stuff. Every now and then we'll got to do the skinny deals, just get out of a deal to make sure that we don't, put a seller in a tough spot. Actually, just did one for like 5,000 recently, just to get out of it because I didn't want to put the seller in a tough spot. And hey, money is money. But we also have deals, and we're going to be talking about those in the case study, where I'm talking like, $200,000, $150,000, $50,000. I love finding deals like that. And those are the type of deals that even in a market that's crazy, I mean, if you buy at the right price, you're always going to be okay as well. So we'll talk about a little bit about how you can talk to the seller by using that reverse objection method to get your deal at a discount where you can make some really good profits,
Yep.
especially right now with the market doing what it's
Yeah,
doing.
which I think is critical because and we're gonna we'll talk about we'll do these case studies and we'll take a after that we'll talk about a calculator we're using with your reverse objection method. That is the perfect formula to get deals under contract at the right price, but also ensure that you can sell the property and you can make a significant profit in it as well. And all right, so the question becomes why why all of a sudden was the market on fire? Why all of a sudden did real estate prices go through the roof? And you remember, oh my gosh, I get a house, I put it out in the market, it'd sell in a second, and I sold it at over asking price. I got 4 offers. It was amazing. I'd hear all these story after story after story, and all I was getting in my head was flashbacks of 2004 and 2005. Right, 2004.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same. There was home builders were doing lotteries. You put out you have a house, you turn around, you get multiple different offers, you get escalation clauses on the offers. They bid up the offers with no inspection periods, hard money, cash money right from the out of the gate. So, and I'm talking regular residential properties. Now, I'm not even talking wholesale properties. We would sell, and we would mark that sucker up to like 89.5% of retail value. And we'd sell it almost retail at the top of the market. And buyers were buying. It was cash buyers. It was hedge funds were buying like crazy. Cash buyers out of California were coming here to Arizona and buying. Cash buyers were migrating all over in buying properties. So it was very interesting time in 2003, 4, and 5, and the market was crazy. And all of a sudden, the brakes slammed on. So we're going to talk about right now why that happened. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Actually, there we go. Share my screen real quick. Now, I'm going to go real quick through this. It's an incredible chart. This is the supply of houses. So what happens is these gray areas are recessions, right? And this shows inventory. Now, inventory impacts real estate. Completely. It's supply and demand. The more inventory you have, you're going to have the less demand on real estate, which is overall going to impact pricing. And we've already seen a massive impact in pricing already, but we're just getting started, in my opinion. So inventory is everything. If you have a lot of cars in the market, then cars will be soft, right? And prices will come down. If you have less cars, like they had that used car, crisis where you couldn't get them and they jacked the price up like crazy. It was insane. So these areas are recessions. And what happens is you have a low inventory, the market's crazy, and then it goes up, and then the market collapses. So Alex and I got started right over here in 2003. I got started in May of 2003. There was 3.9 months supply of inventory. The market was on fire. It was easy to do deals. This is what's called a sideways channel. And it's really easy because the top of it is 4.8. The bottom of it down here is 3.5. So this is a great time to be a real estate wholesaler. It's a great time to be in real estate. It's a great time to buy and sell properties. It's a great time to fix and flip. It's a great time to do a lot of stuff in real estate when you're in a low inventory sideways channel environment. Now, what happened was, look what happened. It could not sustain. And the question is, what could not sustain? What could not sustain? Affordability. Affordability, right, determines if someone can afford a house. Now, we look back here in 2007, right, and why the market affordability. Houses at this particular time in 2007, right, back in here, whereas at a low affordability rate, they couldn't, the affordability was way over here. It was at the lowest point. And if your houses aren't affordable, people can't buy them. But look what happened to the affordability over time. So so Alex, right, what impacts affordability?
Interest rates.
Interest rates and the price of houses. So that means interest rates had to drop and the price of houses had to drop. That created affordability. Now we go along and guess what? We were during this time right here in the market, during this time right here, right? We were at great affordability. We had great affordability. Interest rates were low, right? During this time right here. And all of a sudden, bam, look where we are now. 65 point. We're at like super, and see that little tick up right there? See if let me zoom this. Let me
Yeah.
try to zoom this in for you. See this right here?
Oh, there
Look at
we
that.
go. Yeah.
Look at that right there. So what happened was we hit the low of 67.5 affordability rate, and then we jumped right here in July. Why did that jump? Now, interest rates didn't go down, so what had to have gone down? Home prices, right? It has a direct correlation to home pricing. So here we are. We're in 2003, and then what happened is the inventory went nuts all the way to the top. And if we remember January 2009, what happened to housing prices in Virginia, Alex?
In June of 2009?
Yeah, June. And like, do you remember 2009? What happened like during that correction when the inventory spiked? What happened to housing prices in Virginia?
They went down.
Yeah, I know. But like how much? Significantly? I mean, like,
Oh, well, I can tell you actually. I bought a house subject to um that I actually moved into, and I bought it at the top of the market right around that time. I thought it was a great deal. I bought it for 350, and the value of it went down during that time. It was probably like 285.
yeah,
And I bought the house subject to at 350. So I was in it at 350. Still with a bad loan that I took subject to. Actually ended up losing like 70 grand on that house to get out of it. And that's what happened during that time, you know.
that's what happened during that time. So here's the thing: if we go back to this right here, you'll see at inventory is at it right here in January 2009. That was a bloodbath. To give you an example, in Phoenix, their houses that went from $220,000 down to $20,000 because of the amount of supply that hit the market. Right?
That is
supply.
severe.
Now, during this time right here, you don't want to fix and flip. During this time right here, you don't want to buy and hold. During this time, you don't want to do subject to. During this time right here, you don't want to do land, right? There are certain things you don't want to do. Can you do mini storage? Yes, this mini storage works because displacement, there's a lot of displacement during this time, and it's a great cash flow asset. Student housing works at this time because people go back to school during recessions and depressions and stuff like that to go learn different education. So there's certain asset classes you can buy, and I'm sure there's others, but I'm saying, I mean, those are two that stand out. But we don't want to do land. There's a lot of things we don't want to do. Now, what we do want to do, right, is that there's a pivot. So what was the pivot that happened right here? There's a pivot that made the market go like this. This is almost a parabolic move down. Inventory went from the highest. Now, if you would have did a subject to that for a house right here, Alex, right?
Yes.
And you did it for, say, you said 285.
380, 350 is what I bought it subject to for.
Yeah. And what do you think it was worth in like the bottom here, 2009? You said like 285, 275.
It went down to like 275, 285. Yeah.
275, 285. So then all of a sudden, boom. What happens is then if you would have done a subject to at 275, 285 here, what do you think it would have been worth, say down here, right? When the market, back at like in 2013 or even down, what about here about 2020? What do you think it'd be worth like in 20 at the height of the market?
It started picking back up again. It was like, it would probably be worth about 350.
Yeah, or more, right? It'd be probably a lot more if you would have hung on to it for a length of time, right? So the thing that makes all this happen, because we're in a recession, when a recession happens, this gray area, the Federal Reserve comes out, and what they do is they pump money into the market. So if you see 2008 is right here, they pumped to the tune of about almost $3 trillion in the market from 2008 to 2015. Right? Then they started what's called quantitative tightening, and they started pulling money out of the market during this time right here. And just by a little bit, I'm talking they started it's called tapering. They started tapering. They started pulling their money out of the market, right? Quantitative tightening. And then what happened here in 2020? We all know what happened here in 2020. This is that recession, right? We all know what happened here. We had COVID recession right here. Mm-hmm. And let me back out so we still have perspective. All right. So we had the 2020 right here. Market dropped. Inventory dropped like crazy. And what happened? The Federal Reserve, their response to this was to pump $4 trillion into the market. This is unprecedented, like they've never seen before. They stopped their tapering in May of 2022. They stopped it. And in June of 2022, they started pulling money out of the market, and they started a rate raising campaign and started doing rates. Now, we all know, right? We saw the stock market and stuff like that. So we saw what happens is the market crashed because the Federal Reserve is out there now tapering, taking money off the market and raising interest rates. So they raised interest rates yesterday again. So what happens is when they do this quantitative easing process, everything expands. Like if you look at the stock market, it went vertical, right? It went vertical. This is COVID right here, and it went vertical. If you look back, this is when they started tapering back, and that was 2019, back to 2015. But they pumped money into the market, and we had a vertical rise all the way down here from 218 on the SPY all the way up to, it literally doubled the market. So if you put 100,000 here, it'd be worth a lot more way up here. Now what happens is they started pulling money out of the market, and now we've already dropped close to 30% on the marketplace because they're pulling money out of the market and they're starting their rate raising campaign, which has done what to inventory? It spiked inventory. It became unaffordable. We have 10.9 months supply nationally of inventory. Over here, we've got 12.2 months supply. You know what I mean? So we're in a situation right now where there's massive amounts of supply, and it's going vertical, and it's going, and they're going to continue to raise interest rates until next year. Jay Powell came out yesterday and said, you are going to feel more pain. We're going to do more rates. We are going to bring down inflation. That's what they said. So we know that we as real estate wholesalers have to be in front of what's going to happen so we can understand what's going on, understand when we have to turn around and we can start buying real estate. There's going to be the most incredible opportunities on the planet to buy real estate, but now is not the time. It will be coming soon, but now is not the time. And you got to know when to pivot. And that I'll give everybody a hint. It's when the Federal Reserve comes out and they say they're going to do quantitative easing again. But now, remember, they're at $4 trillion. They have to pull out at least $3 trillion out of the market or more before they come, because we're going to go into a deep recession. We're already in one. And then they're going to have to start pumping money back into the market to save the economy, right? So when that happens, then we can start buying houses again, because when the Federal Reserve pumps money into the market, it expands all equities, real estate, commodities, and the stock market. And the stock market's going to go up again and go parabolic, right? And then because they're pumping money into the market, and that money goes into real estate, goes into commodities, and goes into assets. All right. So now we're in this situation. We're in a recession. The market shifted. You can't sell houses. What do we do, right? How do we go out and do it? So the rest of this, we are going to talk about and try to pour into you. Now you know the problem. Now you know what's going on. Don't panic about it. Look at it and go, okay, I get it now. Now let's pivot and turn and do things differently so we can go out there and crush it. All right. So that is our goal for the rest of this. And we've got to go fast, right? We got to go real fast. We got about 15 minutes to go through this. So we're going to go through this real quick. And we're going to talk a couple different things. We're going to go through case studies, and then we're going to show you how to offer, and then the objection method. And we're going to show you what we're doing to get deals, and then we're going to close this thing up. All right. So now I'm going to let you start with your case studies, Alex. So why don't you take those away and go from, if you can.
All right. Get those out for you.
So Alec, how's he going to share his screen?
Can you see him?
Hey, is your screen shared?
It looks like it is. Hey, everybody in the chat, screen. Can you see my screen okay? My screen my screen says yes, it's being shared.
Okay. There it is. There it is. We see it.
All right. Can you see the mouse moving and stuff too? So that way it's
Yep, we can see everything. We're good.
All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, this is case study number 1. And remember, I'm more of a local investor. Yeah, I do some deals here and there in virtual markets, but I'm strictly now more of a local investor. So what that means is I try to get the best discounted deals in my local market as much as humanly possible that I can. So I'm not trying to do skinny deals, meaning really low profit deals. I'm not trying to be in a situation where we're doing like, three and four and $5,000 deals. Although if I have to, I will, just to get rid of a deal and to make sure a seller is taken care of. But this particular deal right here, and by the way, I'm going to tell you my lead source, and you're going to notice a really a pretty glaring consistency on all my deals and where they're coming from. But this one here on West Grove, we bought the property for 133 after closing costs. So I actually bought and closed on this property. My sale price is 222,000. So in this particular deal, there was a militant unpaying tenant that didn't want where the owner didn't want to deal with the tenant and didn't want to have to take him to court, and was thinking COVID times and trying to think that, oh man, I'll never get this person out of the property. We got lucky because the tenant actually stopped paying utilities, and then the city came in and shut the utilities off on them, and they vacated of their own volition. So we were very happy about that, because now we are in a situation where we can just sell the property straight out. We have a buyer at 222, and that'll be $92,000 on one deal. All right. Let's move on to this next one here. All right. Case study number 2. And Sean, you are hearing me just loud and clear?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, good. Case
Perfect.
study number 2. This is Beekman Street in Norfolk, Virginia. This property, and I'm really excited because when we first did this webinar, I mentioned that there was a vacant lot next door and another house next door. We just contracted that property today, and that's going to add basically another $100,000 to the profit on this. So we bought this section, this house, and the duplex next to it for $100,000. We are selling it for $250,000. This was an inherited property. The seller actually had all kinds of postcards, all kinds of letters and solicitations from other investors. But because she found us online, and my rep went out there and built incredible rapport with this lady, we were able to get the property under contract for 100,000. She said she wouldn't sell it to anybody but us, even though she's been getting more notifications and people trying to get the property. But in this situation, sold property be $150,000. Again, one deal. So what do we got? 150, 92. That's 100. Let's see, 230. What's that, like 240 some thousand? All right,
Good.
next deal. This one we're actually closing on tomorrow. Roberto Street, Newport News. We bought the property for 247. It was actually just rehabbed in 2020, and this couple is getting divorced, and the market has appreciated obviously over the last 2 years. And now we can put this property on the market for 350,000. I'm assuming we'll take an offer for somewhere like 330, because we're gonna start it at 330, and hopefully bid it up. If not, even at that 330 price, we'll still end up with about 65,000. And again, this lead source online. Here's just a typical assignment. Buy price 225,000, sale price 250, inherited property, lead source online. We'll assign it for 25,000. So you look at this, 65 is 25. That's like 90,000. That's 240. And then this one is like we're almost about 350 over the course. Right questions, talking to sellers, and using the right ways to get them online, which is what I love. So those are my case studies.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. You got those case studies. Looks good, man. Good job with that.
All right. Did everybody
Alex, can
see
you
that?
put the
'Cause
screen back on? The little screeny thing doesn't work here. Put me back on the screen, and then I can go through my
okay,
case
because I
studies.
see I see me and I see like a spot where you should be.
Yep. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen, Alec?
No.
Okay. Hold on.
All right. Should I refresh my screen?
No, go ahead. I'm waiting for Alec to.
All right, let me see something here. All right, so why don't while we're waiting for Sean Terry to get set up here, why don't we talk about the reverse objection method? So this is like when I said trying to get these deals under contract and make sure you're getting them for the right price, you've got to use a method in which let me see here, let me make sure that we still look okay on the screen. Okay, because what I'm looking at right now is I don't see that. All right. But the reverse objection method, what we
All right, I'm
do
back in
is
business. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
are okay. I don't see your picture yet on the screen, but
No, go
what
ahead. Let's talk about the reverse objection method. I think that's great because we can talk about offers. So, how you got deep discount deals just like those? You talked to a seller, you did the reverse objection method, and did what?
so basically what the reverse objection method is, we actually feed the seller every single objection that they would possibly give us instead of waiting for them to come up with an objection of why they don't want to do business. We give them all the objections and then have them talk through them so then that way they can convince us why they want to sell it to us and why they want to make it happen, right? So
Right.
the first and we go by ours. So the first thing is, hey, why don't you repair this property, right? Why don't you repair it? You'll get way more for it if you can do that, right? So they'll say, well, I don't want to deal with a contractor and I don't want to deal with all the mess that goes with that. And I don't want to have to deal with negotiations and then have people that don't show up. And, the list goes on with why they may not want to repair the property. And so we say, oh, okay, totally get it. Next thing would be, why don't you rent the property? So why don't you get a cash offer or I'm sorry, why don't you get a tenant in the property and start getting some cash flow on this property? There we go. I see our screen now. Why don't you
Yep.
get some cash flow and hold the property? You'll get to experience long-term appreciation and you'll get monthly payments. And they'll say, "Well, I don't want to deal with a tenant. I don't want to have to deal with all that mess. I don't have to worry about this person that's going to tear up my property, give me excuses and all that kind of stuff." Say, okay. So that's repair, that's rent. The other is to get a realtor. Why don't you get a realtor? Get a
Right.
realtor. They'll list it for you. They'll go ahead and they will put it on the market. They'll get a whole bunch of people through here. You may have to fix some things up in order to, to get that price that a realtor is going to give you. Why don't you
Hmm.
do that? Well, I don't want to deal with a realtor. I don't want to have to worry about having to do any fix up. I don't want to have to worry about paying closing costs or paying commissions or anything like that. And I just don't know exactly how that's going to go in the market that we're in right now. Okay. All right. So why don't you just keep it? That's the last one. R, retain. Why don't you just keep it? And they say, well, I really don't want to keep it. I need the money. And there you go. Now we went through the 4 R's of why they might want to or why they need to sell the property to you. And you've given them every single objection rather than them kind of holding the objections inside and not getting to the real crux of the matter. You just jump right into it and let them tell you why you need to buy it.
Yeah, it's interesting when you do that. It's amazing because you're almost exploring options with the seller. And so you're exploring options and say, hey, listen, if you go with me, obviously I'm an investor, and you're going to kind of take a haircut with me. Have you thought about listing your property? Have you thought about renting it? Have you thought about just holding on to it as a rental? Have you thought about just fixing it up yourself and turning around and selling it? Maybe you could make a more of a profit. And if you kind of explore options and you're upfront with them and say, I'm an investor, I'm going to need, you're going to take a haircut. I can't buy it retail because I'm not going to live there. So, you try these different things and they go, I'm not, no, I don't want to do, I don't want to do, I didn't want to do. Then guess what? You are the only and best option that they have. And now here comes the haircut, right? So it's like,
And they've
that's how
reasoned
I like,
themselves through it, you know?
yeah. And most of the time, I find when I'm talking to sellers, is I'm pushing them away. I'm like, I want you to. I just want to make sure I'm the best fit for you, and I just trying to understand what your situation is. If I'm the best fit, and you'll know, I guarantee. It's funny because I was talking to my team and stuff, and I've been making calls and talking to sellers and making offers and stuff, and getting contracts over the phone and stuff. But when I'm doing that, it's like there's difference between overselling something and then kind of exploring different situations and making sure you're the best. Because if you're the best one, if you're the best option, then it's time to close. It's time to get the deal done and get it signed today. So all right,
100%.
I'm going to go through. I got a little bit of time here. I'm going to go through some of these case studies here. I'm going to see if I can show my computer. There we go. Okay. So question, is this 2008 again with a 40% drop? Who knows? But not for us. That's in the know, and they know how to do deals. All right. These are actually real case studies with the addresses. I showed them. Show them up here. Here is the house. This guy was moving out of state. And he wanted to get rid of his house, and he tried to sell it himself, couldn't do it, and wanted to get it done. So this lead came from Google AdWords, online Google pay-per-click advertising. He typed in a lead form. The lead came in, and he said his lowest acceptable offer would be $300,000. Now, I know a lot of people, the seller goes, hey, you ask them to say, what's the lowest you're going to take? And it's $300,000. And and you're looking at Zillow, and Zillow says, $310,000. And you're thinking in your head, no deal, right? There's no deal there. They want 300. It's worth Zillow 310. I've got to get it for a lot less. And what they do is they don't pursue that lead, or they don't talk to them, or, like we're talking about. So if we go back into it here, this right here, this property is in Moncks Corner, South Carolina. Well, I haven't been to that corner of the world, and I've never been there, but there's 11,370 people in Moncks Corner. Zestimate on this was $249 for the property. His lowest acceptable was $300. He wanted over Zestimate pricing. He wanted over $300,000. He wanted over the pricing.
A lot of people would have tossed that one to the side.
Yeah, they would have tossed this deal to the side. So, but what we do is educate our sellers and do the reverse objection method. So we educate our sellers. Are you aware of the real estate market? You understand inventory is going higher. The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates. Interest rates went from 2.3% to close to 7% now. Are you understand what's happening with the market? I say, great. And do you understand what's happening with your neighborhood? Great, right? So now we got the property for $205, and we sold the property for $245. Actually, look how close that is. Zestimate $249. We sold it for $245. How the heck did we sell it for at market value, right? Well, MLS listed. We listed it for $240. We listed it for Zillow value. We got an offer for $245. We paid a 2% commission, and it took 3 weeks. So here's the information. Here's the actual MLS listing. Listed on the 17th, $249. Went pending. Look how many days later. Went pending a couple days later, and then closed on September 12th, $245,000. We made $33,170 on this deal, and we listed the property on the MLS, which is the biggest buyers list on the planet. There's a specific technique, and there's a specific positioning with the seller to be able to give you the ability to list the property on the MLS. And people go, oh my gosh, what if they see it on the MLS and they freak out because it's a higher price? Well, It's all in the positioning with the seller, prior to. Um, and we'll talk about that. Just I'll give you a brief what we say to the seller to allow us to do this. So all right, so now right, if I go down. Case study number 2. This is in 35th Gertrude Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. Cute little house in Ohio. Zestimate $68,000. Population $64,000. This came in from Google AdWords. A lead came in, lead form submission. Hey, let me ask you a question. What's the reason you're selling? Well, we inherited the property, and now we don't really don't know what to do with it. And oh, great. So, have you thought about just, listing on the MLS? Oh, it needs too much work. Have you thought about fixing up yourself and turning around and like renovating and selling it? Oh no, we're not contractors. We don't want to do that. Have you thought about it? Just hang on to as a rental. The rental market's good. No, we just want to, sell it and kind of close the estate out. I'll say, okay. So now, lowest acceptable offer 55, buy price 40, $15,000 less, exit price 68, right? Listed for 69 over Zestimate on the largest buyers list in America. Offer accepted at 68. We paid a $13.60 commission, timeline 2 weeks. Here's the proof. Listed August 9th. All you got to do is go pull this right here, and you'll see this MLS data that we have right here. August 9th, listed. August 20th, pending. September 1st, close, $68,000. That's a $26,000 deal on a $68,000 house in Youngstown, Ohio, and I don't even know where Youngstown, Ohio is. And here's awesome. The thing about it. We never looked at the property. We only got pictures from the seller. We never did inspections on the property, and we stuck it on the MLS, and a buyer came in and said they're going to buy it at pretty much retail value, which is amazing. All right, so here is another one. This one is in Morrisville, North Carolina. This is probably about an hour outside of Charlotte. Population 38,000, 77 Pine Street. Zestimate 223. Acquisition AdWords lead came in. This was an interesting deal because the seller lived out of state, and there was a tenant in there, and this is like a older lady tenant. And she had 2 sons that just got out of jail, and they couldn't leave the house because they had those ankle bracelets on.
Talk about impossible.
Yeah, so they couldn't leave the house because they had the ankle bracelet. And this tenant, right? This tenant was just like ingrained in this house, right? So it was like, she's not moving. I was in Rosemary Beach, Florida. I was on vacation with my family this past June, July. And they're like, we don't know what to do. This lady's stuck. I said, give me her number. So I called her. I got on the phone with her. I cut a deal with her, paid her a cash for keys to move out. I got her committed, and she moved out of the property. We turned around and found a buyer for the property. We listed on the MLS. And here's the interesting thing. We gave the seller exactly what they wanted, which is a critical part. Listen, when you're negotiating with a seller, never make an offer until you get their asking price, and even better, their second asking price, right? You get their asking price. Hey, what would you like to get for the property? Well, $80,000. Great. If I did all the if I paid cash and closed quick and all that, blah, 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 and did all the repairs and stuff, what's the minimum cash you take? It was in your pocket, $80,000. So that's what she wanted. She wanted $80,000 for the property. We said, okay. We listed and exited the property for $180,000. We listed it for $150,000. It got bid up. This place right here got bid up to $180,000, 2% commission, 3.5 weeks. Right here, listed $150,000. Went pending 4 days later. Closed the thing a couple days later. Cash after that, $180,000. Look at that profit, $89,500. And $30 profit on something like that, which is crazy. So when it's amazing this business. First off, think about this: you have a marketing tool like AdWords, and no one understanding how it's going to work. Bing. That's where a seller's going to come to you, and they're saying, "Hey, I want to sell my house." You have the ability to ask the question, and the question is, okay, what's your asking price? Now, I know people do cold calling and texting and this, that, and the other, but that type of method, when you get someone on the phone, they're going to go, well, what's your offer? Right? So whoever names the first number first loses. So you gotta have them, have them name the first number first. So, all right. So now we got through those things. Let's talk about. So we talked about the offer. Let's talk about so you got the objection method. So people are asking Tal, we'll talk about how to position the seller for the MLS because it's critically important. So we're acquiring properties for AdWords, and AdWords is Google AdWords. People search online, and I mean, I'll show you what AdWords is. It's if you go, we buy houses.
So this
Right,
is
just
a
Google that.
huge critical
Right.
piece
So
to
people go
everything.
to yeah. I mean, people type in Google AdWords, right? I mean, type in right here. And they type it in. All these comes up. All these right here. These are ads right here, and people pay for their ads to be here. See, it says ad, ad, ad. If you're wondering how Google makes money, this is how Google makes money. So I'm going to click this one right here. Click, right? And they're going to pay per click. And we have this great little website right here. We buy houses in Phoenix, AZ, fast, right? Put the address, phone information, you get your fair cash offer, or you can call. And this right here is an actual lead that comes in. We look at another one down here. Listen, big cash offer. Here's big
Oh,
cash
these people
offer.
are gonna
Look at
love
that.
you.
I know. Look at this. Toll free. Now look at, he's missing the click to call. I would tell him to fix
Uh,
that. Right? He's missing the click to call, and then name, address, and phone number, get my cash offer, big cash offer. So when you do that right there, the bottom line is that turns into a lead, and those leads come in 24/7. Now, I know people that started with a $10 a day budget, a $25 a day budget, and they're getting 15, 20, 30 leads a month that are coming in, talking to sellers, getting properties under contract, and doing deals, either locally or all across the entire country. So that's the way we get leads. Now, the way we dispo leads, before we just put them out to a buyer's list or we just text some cash buyers and we could sell the thing quick. Now things have changed. Now we put those properties on the MLS. We list those, and it doesn't matter if it's a large market or small market, stick them on the MLS. And how we position the seller, right? We tell them when we're talking to them that we are a real estate investor. Just like I said, we're not going to live there, even though it's a beautiful house in Morrisville, North Carolina. We're not going to live there. So our intent for signing this contract and working with you, Mr. Seller, is to make a profit. Our goal is to make a profit. We don't know how we're going to make a profit at the point of time of signing this, but it could be and is not limited to fixing and flipping your property. We could fix it and flip it, and I could turn around and sell it for a higher price to make a profit. I could hold it onto it as a rental. I could turn it into an Airbnb. I could quick sell it to another investor via a wholesale method. I could quick sell it. I could list it on the MLS and sell it to a retail buyer, right? But in any case, you're going to see a higher number that we're going to sell this property for, and the goal is to make a profit. And if you're not comfortable with that, then we need to put on the brakes right now and stop. Now, if you're comfortable moving forward, we can move forward with the rest of the conversation. That's how we position the seller, that we are going to make a profit. We don't know how we're going to make a profit, but it could be all of the above to make a profit, right? And if you position it like that, guess what? They're not going to get pissed it's listed. They're not going to get pissed that you turn around and sell it and they saw a $30,000 assignment fee. They're not going to get mad because you told them exactly what your mission and motive for working with them is. And if you're transparent with somebody and you tell them, they won't have a problem. And guess what? They sign a purchase contract. We go through it with them, and they even sign a disclosure of us telling them, again, we're going to make a profit, and we don't know how. And we also have them sign what's called an attorney in fact, so we have the ability to list their property on the MLS.
100% above board, no trickery, no games, no, oh, I hope they don't see that I listed it. 100% above board.
You're pretending to be the buyer and you're really not, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there are going to be times where you're going to buy the property. You're going to buy the property. You're going to hold on to it as a rental. There are properties I've held on to as a rental. All right. So now here's the thing. You understand the market shifting, right? There's a lot of things happening in the market right now. There's a lot of changes that are happening in the marketplace right now. Understanding how to list your properties on the MLS, understanding how to make offers correctly. I mean, we even have down to a calculator that we use to make offers to sellers. My team uses that incorporates sold properties and MLS properties and listed properties, and it comes out and prepares and stuff like that. So, learning all of this and exactly how to do that is critical to your success. So, Alex and I have an incredible opportunity where we meet people in my office and we actually meet in a mastermind environment every quarter. We do monthly calls every single month. And what we do is we lay out the entire the people in the mastermind that have been working, they have known. I've been talking about this stuff back in 2021. I've been talking about pivoting. I've been telling them the market's shifting, and they've all been getting prepared, and they've all been prepared. And guess what? They're doing well, right? The ones that have actually listened and prepared, they're doing well, and they're out there crushing it. The ones that haven't are the ones are, and we're getting people signing up in droves because they're like, okay, I want to be a wholesaler. I want to be in the know. I want to go out there and crush it, but I want to learn from people that have already been through a real estate market crash. And I personally don't know hardly anyone that has, but except us that have the ability to have a mastermind to teach people exactly how to do it. So, we got two specific levels, and those levels are one, deal syndicate, and two, six-figure syndicate. Okay. So, deal syndicate is if you're brand new, you've done under like 2 deals, right? Under $50,000 in revenue. And you want to learn the systems and the processes to go out there and do a deal and then rinse and repeat and do more deals. Now, we meet in my office every quarter. And what happens is, and it's a temporary spot for you. It's a temporary basically spot where you can excel or to basically ascend into six-figure syndicate. So essentially what happens is you come to the office and you work with my team and you call my leads. Alex, you can bring your leads if you want to. But we work with my leads, and guess what? We do the business together for 2 days straight. We talk to sellers. We make offers. We get contracts. We use the offer calculator. We show you how to list a property and get it on the MLS. We show you the entire business. You do the business with us, and you get to earn while you learn. You get a deal off my leads while you're here. We'll pay you 25% of whatever that fee. And I get so many people that ask, they go, hey, can I just do deals with you? Well, here's the way to do it, right? You want to do deals with Alex? This is the way to do it. Is you'll be part of Deal Syndicate, and we can work closely with you and show you exactly how to do it. That is the first thing. It's application only. Obviously, my office can only hold so many people. It's limited. And people are graduating to the next level, which opens up spots. So we do have a handful of spots open, less than a handful. If you are interested, you want to work directly with team, and you are sick and tired of trying to watch YouTube videos to try to learn how to do the business and going on this webinar and that webinar and this training and that training. You just want to learn from two people that have been wholesaling now for 20 years. We can show you exactly how to do it. You can come to my office and see the full operation and what we do and how we do it. So now that's Deal Syndicate. I'm going to give you a page here in a second, and there's going to be a link on the bottom of the screen. You can go and apply, and we want to make sure that you are right for the program. Now, the second one is a lot of fun. It's one of my favorites is Six-Figure Syndicate. And Six-Figure Syndicate is a mastermind style. So we have an event next week, right? On Thursday and Friday. We have close to 40 people coming. And out of those 40 people, we're going to have people do presentations on their business, what they do, their KPIs, their numbers, what's happening. I mean, there's guys doing $300,000 a month. There's guys doing $2 million a year. And what happens, they're going to share exactly what's going on in their business and how they're crushing it right now in this market. So not only do you get to hear from your peers and hear what's working best and then what they need help with. But then you get to hear from some other people doing a lot of great stuff there. So it's going to be awesome. And like I said, we do it every single quarter, and we do calls every single month. Again, that one, I mean, we're getting filled up to where we might have to go into 2 rooms to a certain point right now. So right now, that is we have handful of spots left, not even a handful of spots, just a couple spots left for six-figure syndicate application. And that is for someone that's done over $50,000 in revenue. And now they want to systemize their business. They want to hire now. They want to be able to get rinse and repeat income. They want to be able to scale their business from $50,000 a year to $50,000 a month to $100,000 a month. We're going to show you exactly how to be able to do that. So that is the, and I'm going to show you where to apply here in a second, but go here to join
joins9.com.
Yeah, join S9. I don't have my glasses on. joins9.com, joins9.com. Go here, joins9.com right here. If you go there, you can actually watch the cool little video between me and Alex there, and you'll fill out this quick application. And then Bryant or Shanna from our team will call you. So Bryant or Shanna from our team will call you. So Alec, can you put the link on the bottom here? Join Syndicate 9 so everybody can see it. So if you go that, join Syndicate 9, you'll go there.
Join
and what
S9.
will happen is, there you go, join Syndicate 9. It was there, then it went away.
Join
if you go
S9.
there, join S9. Oh yeah, right there. Can you see it on the screen, Alex? Well, you can't see it. Okay, so it's joins9.com, joins9.com. Go there, and you're going to land on this page right here. And when you land on this page, you can watch the cool little video, and then you go down, you can fill out the application, and either Bryant or Shanna will reach out to you to talk to you to see if you're a good fit for what we do. And there is an investment, of course, because obviously I can't have everybody here at my office for free. But I can tell you it's incredibly cost effective. And then we have payment plans. We have all sorts of stuff we can work with you on. So it's specifically for, and it's not for everybody, if you are motivated to really dive into wholesaling. And I'm going to share something real quick here, my screen real quick. See this right here? The market's going parabolic. This is going up. And see this right here? You want to wholesale during this time. You don't want to buy houses. You don't want to flip houses. You don't want to, fix and flip houses or any of that type of stuff. During this time right here, you want to wholesale houses like crazy. You want to wholesale houses like crazy right here. And then up here at the market top, then you want to start buying properties. And we teach in our mastermind a specific strategy where you can literally build a portfolio of houses using, you can have no, I mean, if you build $100,000 cash and you can put that away, you can turn $100,000 into about, I mean, I turned $100,000 into $36 million of houses during this time right here. And we sold them at the height of the market and made millions of dollars. I mean, I think we had $36 million. We sold for like $50 million because of the crazy leverage that we did. And it was amazing. Now you want to leverage up here. You don't want to leverage down here, right? And that's what's great about real estate. So the sign is when the Federal Reserve comes out and says they're going to go quantitative easing. That means they start pumping money in the market. It's probably going to happen, in my opinion, probably mid to late next year. It's going to get pretty bloody, and they're going to start. But as real estate wholesalers, it's easier for us to wholesale in a recession than it is to wholesale when the market's parabolic. Because the seller, you talk to a seller and you go, "Hey, have you thought about listing it?" "Oh yeah, I'll just list it on the market and I'll have 45 people make offers, right? At over asking, right?" So now they know that game doesn't work. Colorado Springs used to be the hottest market in the country. Colorado Springs. Remember Colorado Springs? Remember that, right? Where is Colorado?
You got an article?
I just got to pull this up. I'll say, so if you go to Colorado Springs, is this Colorado Springs right here? Yeah, okay, Colorado Springs, right? This is Colorado Springs.
I don't
Colorado
see your
Springs. I
screen.
show this right here. This is what's going on in the markets right here across the country. This is Colorado Springs. See this?
All active?
All active properties in
Oh
Colorado
my
Springs.
goodness.
So, goodness. Now, this was per Redfin or per Realtor.com the hottest market in the country. Why has it shifted? Inventory. Now,
Inventory.
do you
Yeah.
think someone's going to get multiple offers with escalation clauses on his house if you own a property? And this is a 1 mile radius,
No.
right? No. So now, if you're going to get a property here, how do you make an offer on how do you make an offer? What do you do to make an offer? Well, I can tell you, you sort by lowest to highest, and then you sort by house right here, and you're going, oh, I got 121 houses, lowest to highest. Well, at 1,300, I got to be pretty low to turn around and sell my house. But you even see houses on here, 54 days on the market, and it's the lowest price house in this entire area. 54
Oof.
days at 244, and it's not this box right here, not selling. I'm telling
Wow.
you, the market is shifting. I see this all over the entire country. Now, there's some markets that are good. Inventory's still tight. Like I can tell you, Connecticut, right? There's parts of Connecticut. We're closing a deal Friday in Connecticut. A deal in Rhode Island. Rhode Island prices are still going up, which is amazing. So some parts of the country are low inventory. Some parts are high.
You just have to know what to look for.
You have to know what to look for. And if you see a bunch of sea of green, like I just showed you, then guess what? Your offers, right? That means sold prices are higher than listed prices, and then you have an issue. All right. So now, learning this stuff, we share all this stuff in our mastermind environment. So all you got to do is go to here, joins9.com, joins9.com. Go there, fill out your application. You're not going to want to, definitely going to want to be with us. And Shanna and Bryant will call you if you go to joins9.com, and it's a great thing where you can work together. So
why don't you share what you've been working on in your secret little lab with PPC and national and
yeah. So we went national in 2000 late 2019. October, November, December 2019. And I primarily went national. There you go. I primarily went national because the cost per lead for a lead in Arizona in 2019 was about $500 for a cost per lead. Now, when you have cost per leads that exorbitant, right? And it takes, 15 to 25 leads per deal, well, guess what? You're priced out, right? And if your average deal size is like 15, you get priced out, and it literally squeezes profitability to next to nothing. So I pivoted, and I said, okay. And we started doing AdWords campaigns to the tune of about $30,000 a month initially in ad spend, initially out of the gate, right? $30,000 a month in ad spend. It brought in a ton of data. And we learned data. So we did a ton of conversions. And so what I've done is I basically have taken $3.5 million of data that's been through my account. And I found out not only the highest profitable states, and the way we determine highest profitable states is by the overall revenue. I did cost per labor. I did cost per lead. I did cost per commission when I pay commissions to my sales guys, which obviously is going to be different for other people, but cost per difference. So I have all my built-in cost to process the lead, how many leads we converted in that area, what our profit margin is per state overall. And now you see all 50 states, and guess what you see? A lot of red states, a lot of green. What you're going to see is a lot of red states that, guess what? We're converting a ton of leads. We're spending money in those states, and we're not making any money in those states. Or we're making I think it was like, 2 or 3 or 5% we're making on those states. So kill the states. So
yeah.
What we did is pushed all our money in the top 10 states, started doing those states. Then what we did is analyzed every single keyword out of 33,000 keywords. which keyword produced the highest conversion, right? Guess what? Now we focus just on those keywords. Then, after we did that, we looked at what is the best time of day to run the ads. When is the best day of the week? It's called time party to
Wow.
run the ads. So now we run all that, and our conversions went from about 13 to 14% up to 30 to 35% conversions on our campaigns, and it's been amazing. So
By trimming all that fat. Wow.
in the last 2 weeks, we've signed 16 contracts to the tune of $600,000 in revenue, just off making a couple tweaks to campaigns and stuff like that. So it's amazing
Wow.
information. I'm not making it public, only to Mastermind members. We're going to kind of share this data and what's happening, and to do it, of course, it's proprietary information. I spent $3.5 million to figure out this data. I don't know anybody in the industry that has, and analyzed it to the level we've done. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So that's the type of stuff that we share.
That's huge.
Yeah, huge. I mean, that's literally the price of admission right there. I mean, that alone, if you're running AdWords and doing marketing and stuff, that's literally the price of admission. So those are the couple of cool things we're saying. So all you got to do is go to joinus9.com,
joinus9.com.
Yeah, you can go there, join us 9, fill out your application. And when you fill out that application, Bryant or Shanna, it's a simple application right here. We'll get in touch with you. And then what happens is, and like I said, there's no obligation. I can tell you, we do a reverse objection method where there's like, listen, have you done this? Have you watched YouTube videos? Have you started? Have you done, and guess what? If you're right for this, then great. If not, believe me, they don't hard sell. They don't do it, and they're not going to bug you. If it's not for you, then that's it. Because I honestly don't care. We're packed. We have a ton of great people. But if it is for you, then we want you, because you'd be great for you, and it's going to be great for us because we love meeting new people. All right. Let's go to some questions.
Yeah, how about a couple questions real quick? Hey, it's only 8:40. We did well.
Good job, man.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
Let's see.
In this market, how would you select a city to cold call in? How would you select a city to cold call in?
To cold call.
I'm gonna see if let me see if I can show you. Okay, here is keep on pressing that button. Here is August 2022 hottest housing markets. And this is realtor.com. Go to realtor.com, hottest housing markets, right? And these are hot because of this right here, days on market. -2 days on market, -7, 6, -2. And now what you want to do is, what I would do is pick the highest median home price. And why do you do that? Bigger spreads, like this one right here. Portsmouth, Maine, 6 days on market, 550. You get a deal here, right here. You're going to be doing it now. Let's just, for fun, I just want, because I've never done this. Let me see something right here. Well, let's take, this is 167. Let's just take this. Let's say if we were going to, is that Portland South? Let me just see. Copy this. I'm going to put it over to Redfin over here.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah.
That right here. So this is this market right here. Now, let's look at the difference. Let's look at the difference. What's the difference?
Not low inventory.
Low inventory. So what I would do is I would look at those top 20 markets. I would pick the lowest days on market, the highest median home price, and then I go check out that market, and then I look for inventory. Now, if you're in a market like this where there's no inventory right here, there's minimal inventory right here in this market, guess what? You get a deal, you'll be able to sell that deal no problem.
Absolutely.
All right, what else for questions? So Rico, I hope that helped. Any other questions you guys have? Let me go here.
Let's see.
Michael Smith asks, when is the next mastermind? It is happening it's happening next week, Thursday and
Next
Friday.
week, I'm getting ready to hop on a plane.
Yeah. Can I have them sign me as the attorney in fact if I'm a realtor? I believe so. You'd probably have to ask your broker if you can do that. But as a realtor, you're acting on your own behalf. So I would definitely ask your broker. It depends on what your broker says about that. My wife's mom lives in Monk's Corner. That's funny. What is the technique for MLS? This is what I am most interested in, Mike asked. So the technique for MLS is, first off, we list with a flat fee listing service, cost between $90 and $149 to list a house on the MLS, right? And the way you list the properties, you need an attorney in fact from the seller. And the way we get the attorney in fact from the seller is we tell them specifically what we're doing to make a profit, which includes listing on the MLS. And this document allows us to list on the MLS, which is the attorney in fact. That's what we do. Whose screen are we looking at? Mine. Actually, we're looking at Alex. 2008 again, Ralph said. So 2008 again. Is it 2008 again? Yeah, which is crazy. So the bottom line is that it is coming, and it's going to be a pretty incredible time. So here's one last thing. We'll leave you, and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, I want to show you my screen. My screen real quick is important. So this right here, people got absolutely rich right at this point right here because they bought a ton of houses. They bought a ton of houses. They bought real estate. They bought the stock market. They bought. Right? So the goal is between now and the time the pivot, and I'm going to tell you when the pivot happens, the time that pivots, right, is to stash cash, to have the ability to start buying houses, buying multifamily, buying whatever you're going to buy. Because this right here is when the market corrects, you not only have market appreciation, but you also buying at the absolute rock bottom. So you're getting built-in equity, and then you have market appreciation. So you have a double whammy when it comes to wealth creation. So we're in the same thing right here. So now we want to wholesale like crazy because we're vertical right here. There's going to be a point in time. Now, I think we're going to far exceed. I think we're going to get inventories up into 13, 14 months supply. This is 12 months supply. And I think at this level, from this point right here to this point is 2 years. From this point right here, the low, this point right here is 6 years it took to go from the low to the high. It's taken 2 years to go this move right here. So I personally think we're going to go significantly higher in inventory. You're going to see inventory explode all across the entire country. But then the Federal Reserve is going to come out, right? The Federal Reserve is going to come out. We go back to the Fed, and they're going to come down here. They're going to pull money out of the market. They're going to quantitative ease. They're going to have to because we're going to be in a deep recession right here, just like we did in 2008, back in 2021. And they're going to come out and they're going to start printing money again. They're going to do what's called quantitative easing. And quantitative easing, they're going to do on a rate lowering campaign. And then they're going to go into a rate lowering campaign, and then they're going to go into pumping money back in the market. Now, what's going to happen is that commodity prices is going to go up, stock market's going to go up, and real estate prices is going to go up. That's when you want to buy, in my opinion. And I'm no financial advisor, can't give you financial advice, whatever. I'm just telling you that's when I'm going to buy.
Your opinion.
Yeah, my opinion. No, that's Alex's opinion.
It's my.
All right. So if you don't want to miss the boat on this stuff, right, and be in a situation where you miss the boat, right, then I would suggest you you join S9 and
joins9.com.
joins9.com, joins9.com. Go there, fill out your application. You'll learn specific techniques to be able to pivot. You'll learn when to do it, because I'll tell you, right? I'll tell you, hey, Federal Reserve is now quantitative easing. They're going to rate lowering campaign. Buy, right? And we're all going to, and guess what? We could pull money together. We could do deals together. We could raise capital for it, whatever the case may be. I think that is a great play because there's going to be some ridiculous opportunities. I think I heard like one of the hedge funds is pulled together like $80 billion to buy distressed real estate when it hits the market. They're getting prepared, and then they're getting ready, and they're going to jump on, and they're going to buy a ton of houses, and they're going to make a bunch of money doing it. And then guess
Smart
what?
guys
That's what
over
they
there.
did. That's what they did in 2008.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
All right, I
Well,
think
this
we're
has been
done.
amazing.
It is 5:48. We're about 18 minutes over to where we said we wanted to be.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about, cool stuff and answering questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So let me see.
I think we've hit the major points.
I think we've hit everything. What if the market totally crashes in terms of collapse in the currency? Yeah, that's Forever Mama said that. That's actually, now it's interesting. A couple things, come out. It's like, I think, and I get, everybody and their brother text me, of course, about everything, but, so they've seen a lot of thing like, they're talking about Russian economy collapsing, right? They're talking about, who else? Well, obviously, you've seen what's going on in Lebanon, right? Lebanon right now, they had a rush on the banks in Lebanon. You see Puerto Rico getting hammered by storms right now, they call them
Hurricanes.
tornadoes and hurricanes are getting hit right now. But I heard that the European Union, I'm talking about British, the Europe, is on the brink of a banking collapse, which will impact currencies. Because they have a massive margin call on apparently their oil and gas that they have out there. So there's a lot of turmoil going on in this world. Our dollar is at record highs. I mean, literally record highs. And just insane. So Nathan Kennedy asks, is our PPC updated? It's updated as of earlier this year with updates of any type of changes and stuff like that we've done to it.
You mean all the keywords and negative?
Yeah. Now all this data we've recently done, that's not going to be in the course, right? That is proprietary data that we're sharing with the Mastermind people only. But the course itself teaches how to set up the campaign structured correctly around maximizing conversion. Now,
And
it's interesting.
Part of the Mastermind, they get all the courses like that you've ever
Yeah, they get all
made.
the courses. They get everything. They got all the stuff for free, but well, not for free, but it's part of the actual membership. But the bottom line is that when you look at this with the PPC, we show you exactly how to set up the structure of the campaigns, which works incredible. And then you'll be able to see exactly how you can get leads and do. It is incredibly profitable just to get leads at $35 to $40 a lead, and do deals across the country. You know what I mean? So there's a group out of LA, actually, up in the LA area that use the campaign. They're brand new. They're doing deals. And they're doing deals nationally, and they're on the verge of closing this month over $100,000 this month, their first $100,000 month, literally from out of the gate scratch. You know what I mean? From not even knowing wholesaling. You know what I mean? So
Wow,
it's pretty good from just following that PPC course, which is amazing, which is cool. All right, what else? Do we have any more questions? I don't think we have more questions on here. So in that case, I'll leave you with this. Go to joins9.com, joins9.com. We will see you. Talk to Bryant and Shanna. They'll be happy to talk to you, set up an appointment, have a discussion, and see if you would like to hang out with both Alex and I live 4 times a year and every single month on a call, And we are talking about this current market. This is what we are talking about. And we're sharing everything that we learn, everything that we know, and we're going to share it with you for our 20 years of experience so you can shorten that learning curve. Why? I mean, why not take 20 years of my mistakes, 20 years of his mistakes,
40
put them in all
years.
together? 20 years. Yeah. That's 40 years of mistakes. And then instead of you making 40 years of mistakes, you can just do it right out of the gate. That's why people are coming in and in a matter of months, they're excelling so ridiculously fast because, they're going out and crushing it. So, any last words,
Absolutely.
Alex?
This is awesome, man. I love this. This is like, we're not just talking about theory, just general theory. This is very timely information of what you need to know like right now when everything is so uncertain out there. You can really have a certainty about you that really makes you feel more confident in what you're doing. And you can see that between what Sean and myself are doing out there. And then not only us, but when you join the mastermind, you'll see everybody else that's involved, and the deals that they're doing and the questions that they have, but also the successes that they're having as well as the challenges. And that's priceless to be able to have that type of access to people. And what's really cool about it is that if you want to get challenged, like, like some people come to the mastermind and they're like, man, I don't know when I should quit my job, or, I'm making this money and I'm really at a point where I think I want to quit my job, but I just can't. Sean, gets down right in, right down to the bottom
Not
line.
to
It's like,
everybody. It has to be the right person.
it has to be the right person. Exactly. Like, hey, are you ready to go? And he'll challenge you and give you a deadline and a timeline and to make it happen, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's exciting. I mean, it's for the right person that wants to do it. And I'm telling you, pretty much every person I've challenged is now crushing it.
Yeah, it's so true. I
So
mean,
the
I've
question
seen
is,
you do it on the Flip to Freedom stage with some people, and you look at them now.
I know it's crazy. All right, guys, we're going to sign off. Have a great evening. God bless. Go out there, stay safe out there, crush it. And we'll talk to you soon.
See you
Signing
guys.
off. God bless.